Yeah, obviously it's unfortunate, but the fortunate thing from that, as I mentioned in the teleconference, is Joe's tough. He's one of the toughest players we have. He played that game with a broken hand, most of it, and fought through it, and you could tell he kept holding his hand, so he got through that. And the other thing that's good is it's his non-shooting hand, his left hand. So now it just comes down to what he can tolerate. Certainly we got one of the best hand surgeons in the country, Dr. Chabra, who's looking at it, making sure that it's okay, putting protective padding, and they'll put like a coat, almost like a shell around it, so so he's functional with his finger movement and his wrist movement, but we'll monitor it, and he hasn't done anything yet. So really it will be a game time decision, seeing what he can tolerate, where he's at. And again, he's tough, and it's not on his shooting hand, and we'll hope for the best.
Is it tough to swallow, especially for a guy like him? We talked about him last week, that he's just one of those guys that gives it everything he has. Of all guys to go down, the one that has kind of, not to discount the other guys, but the most heart.
Yeah, really. It's unfortunate, but we'll see how it plays out. Again, guys have played with this before, so I think it's premature right now to say how much it'll affect them, how much it'll affect us, and another opportunity certainly for someone to step up. But I feel a little, I don't have enough of watching him and seeing where he's at to really say, the impact it'll have. But I know it was discouraging, but he'll run through a wall. He'll do whatever you ask him. I think he would play with a broken arm if he could, and he'll just keep giving you everything he's got, and I love that about Joe.
After the UNC game, you kind of talked about seeing a side of your team that you weren't used to, maybe like a lack of toughness, I think you called it.
Yeah.
What is kind of the message, these next couple of days heading into the final, couple games of the season?
I don't know if I said lack of toughness. I can't remember how I phrased it.
Yeah.
That game was interesting. We were up 40-37. We were fighting. We had foul trouble. We had some depth issues. And then the last 15 or 16 minutes, they really stretched it with their offensive rebounding. 23 offensive rebounds, 23 second chance points. They took it to us. And, I think, as I said, it wasn't that we didn't try hard in that game. Everybody tries hard, but there has to be a level of execution. And when you're going against teams, there's NC State they hurt us on the offensive glass. They're big and athletic. Florida State had that. North Carolina certainly as well. It has to be everything we've got in terms of our defensive rebounding and the guards coming back and helping. And I think we maybe lost a little bit of our alertness or focus that was needed in that game to try to stay connected to Carolina. We got some good open looks. We didn't shoot it particularly well, and when the shots weren't falling, then the defense has to be close to flawless, and those little breakdowns just let them separate. And again, it's not conventional when we have to play four guards, or if we have foul trouble with some inexperienced guys in there, but if we want to be in a game like that, we can't allow that many offensive rebounds. We fight to get real good position, and at times they got to the balls that I felt some of them we should have had because we didn't block out the way we could have, and some they made some great plays, so it was kind of a both-and situation.
Obviously, you have a quick turnaround. Can you talk a little bit about Clemson and heading down there? What kind of challenge that team presents?
Well, we had a heck of a game against them here. That we won a close game, and they're an aggressive team. And at home, they're very good. They, the first game ACC, they really took it to Florida State. They're a pressure-oriented team, good defensively. They did not have Milton Jennings, who is a long, athletic player for them in our game. They have him, and so we'll have to prepare for that. Him being, brings a different dimension to their team, and they're playing well. This last game, they took it to Wake Forest, and he's been playing well. Tanner Smith, they have some very good experience, and again, a tough place to play, but an opportunity for us to, hopefully become a little more alert, sounder, tougher, all those things that we felt maybe slid at the end of the Carolina game. And again, we'll have to see how it is with Joe, but everybody will have to be on the same page for us to be successful.
Is it different or advantageous at all, the rest of your ACC schedule or teams you've already seen? How does that change the approach, or does it?
Actually, ironically, we're this far in. We have not played Maryland. We have 2 games with them left, but everybody else we have